Hey everyone, it's Rachel Wolfson here at the Apex Dev Summit in Amsterdam. I'm doing a series of interviews for Web3 Deep Dive, and today I'll be interviewing Karl Jacob. He is the CEO and co-founder of HomeCoin and LoanSnap. Hey Karl.
Hey, great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here. How's it going?
Really good. It's been a great conference so far.
Wonderful. So Karl, I know that you've done a few panels here at Apex. What did you speak about?
So today we were really talking about HomeCoin, which is the product that we built up, started about 5 years ago, and are now moving it to the XRPL ledger. The exciting thing about HomeCoin is it allows any investor anywhere in the world who has a wallet, a crypto wallet, to invest effectively in the mortgage product that's created by the United States. So it allows you to get a return from the repayments of those loans through your wallet, with the safety of the fact that it's backed by a property in the United States. That's also tied into kind of the overall mortgage industry, which we think could benefit a lot from blockchain technologies and the speed of getting a loan. It takes about 60 days to get a loan in the United States, and we're able to do it in about 48 hours.
Wow. And so what is the impact? The mortgage industry right now is kind of having its moment. So what type of impact will the technology have given the market today?
We hope a pretty big one. We actually built the product that we have today called a smart loan on the blockchain first. It's a blockchain first product. The key thing about that product is, unlike other mortgage products, you don't have to refinance your existing loan. So you keep your existing loan, and this loan is on top of that loan. It's called a home equity loan for the more, kind of finance tech. But at the end of the day, that wasn't a popular product a year and a half ago. So we built it on the blockchain. We were funding loans in 48 hours, which is really, really fast. And then an interesting thing happened. TradFi woke up and said, hey, wait a second, this is the product we need to kind of reinvigorate the mortgage industry. And that product we're now selling to large private equity funds, banks, and other entities.
Wonderful. And why are you using the XRP ledger?
So XRP is really interesting for us. There are a couple things that made a big difference to us. Speed is obviously a big one. Everybody wants to get their money quicker these days, of course. The second is really security. And by security, I mean XRPL took a really interesting take on smart contracts. They're really powerful and really useful, and were for us in our development. But now that the product is relatively more mature and we're moving tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars through the system, we're a lot more interested in something that institutions can trust and are willing to base buying on. And that's something that is, I would call it smart contract light, I guess, at the end of the day. And then the third is volumes of transactions. At the end of the day, in general, you want to build a product where there's demand already. And in XRPL, there are a lot of transactions and a lot of money moving back and forth. They could use a product where they can get a return that's safely backed by an asset class like mortgages, which banks and governments use.
Has it been challenging at all to work with institutions, I guess, and just like mainstream individuals in terms of, you're tokenizing mortgages, basically? So has it been challenging to work with people maybe outside of the crypto and blockchain industry?
Well, I started my career at Apple. And one of the things you learn at Apple is consumer first. So for many of our customers who are getting a loan, quote, through the blockchain, we hide all that. Because nobody, where I grew up in Missouri on a ranch, wants to know how their mortgage gets done. They just want their mortgage. I think that for most people, as long as it works, they're fine. And for some people who are blockchain natives, there are a lot of advantages to being able to pay your mortgage from your crypto wallet, for instance. I think on the investor side, meaning people who are able to get into this market who couldn't before, about 40% of our wallets are outside the United States who buy HomeCoin. I think that's really interesting because now you have a US-based product that is now available to the world that previously was only available to big banks and governments. And so I think from a consumer perspective, like what they're capable of getting into as a direct vehicle for a return, where before they had to go through a bank or a big financial institution, as David was talking about earlier, That's really the great thing. It's a product that people understand. Home loans, it's a return people understand, and it's a relatively easy way to get that versus having to go through your bank.
Do you find it easier to innovate within, with tokenization and using blockchain now compared to maybe a few years ago? I don't know when you launched the product, but.
Well, yes, 100%. In fact, a good example of that is a lot of things that we would have built ourselves 2 or 3 years ago, we can now stand on the shoulders of others. Newton, one of my favorite Newton quotes. And an AMM is a great example of that. So that is a fantastically complex technology to tackle. Even David was talking about, it's huge. So much so that we basically said, we're not going to do it. It just isn't worth it as a small startup. And now that XRPL is going to build AMMs into the core product, that's fantastic for us. And it unlocks a lot of value for our customers that we would not be able to do for another 5 years. So yes, it's a lot easier than it used to be.
Great. So Karl, are there any next steps that you can discuss for HomeCoin or any collaborations and partnerships on the horizon?
You bet. Well, we're just getting started. So there's 3 tokens available on XRPL today that you can buy right now. HMY, HOM, and HMQ. And then we're working with a bunch of the institutions that are using XRPL today to move money. The exciting thing for an institution that's moving a lot of money is now you have a place you can put that money, earn a return of about 6%, but it's backed by real world assets that have value in the real world, and so you will likely never lose your money.
That's great. Wonderful. Yeah. So Karl, if our listeners want to get in touch with you, how do they do that? Do you have an X handle?
I do. I'm at Karl on X, and then you can come to homecoin.finance and check us out and learn more about the project and join our Discord, hopefully.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.